Hey, good morning. This is Mike Yazina here of Menorcan Magic, custom handmade cast nets here in Saint Augustine, Florida. I want to do something a little different today than what I've been doing. I have over 50 videos up on YouTube, all showing you and talking about how to make handmade cast nets, from start to finish. But I never really got into the thing actually about mullet fishing. So I thought we would do something. I want to start with being over to Valena Beach here in St. Augustine on the Atlantic Ocean. And that's where the mullet run actually starts sometime in September, depending on the northeasters. And it begins in North Carolina. It comes up the East Coast, right on up and down the East Coast, around the peninsula, and into the Gulf. But St. Augustine is a good host for that Menorcan. Menorcan. We call it Menorcan mullet run when they come up the coast. And what I was talking about here, is showing you, is the jetties. The jetties here in Saint Augustine Inlet was actually the Army Corps of Engineers cut that inlet around 1939 or 1940. And the next year, the jetty was put in. The reason for that jetty was to protect that inlet from filling in with sand so bad. And as I look at this thing, it's a lot lower. That jetty has really sunk in from where it was back in the early 50s when I spent a lot of time on that beach. And then, the jetty. And then as we look around, we see the inlet. The inlet as we know it today, it changes every year. Depending on the storms, it just constantly changing. But let me go back to the jetties and the mullet. The mullet would come along the beach in real huge schools. Nothing like it used to be. And they would come along, and that jetty was a great place to fish because there's a lot of little potholes around the edges of those rocks. And the roe mullet would come in there and get out of that rough water from the northeasters blowing, and they would settle in them holes, and then you could ease up there and make a cast there and catch a lot of fish, different kind of fish. But so anyway, it was a really one of my favorite fishing spots for many, many years. And then as we move around, I guess we're seeing you can see the lighthouse off in the distance across from the inlet. On the other side now of the inlet, that jetty was put in 1958. In fact, I watched them put that one in. It protects the island that you see across there. Back in the day, it was called Conch Island, but it's changed name now. They call it Anastasia. But it was named after an old local fisherman, Conch Edge, who used to row his boat across there and spend the day over there collecting, fishing for mullet, and believe it or not, they would dig turtle eggs, also bird eggs. They would pick up bird eggs from the birds that would be laying. So it was people used to did what they had to do to survive. Things weren't like they are now. I think we will go on and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the inlet. As the inlet as we have it here today was cut in 1940 actually. And as we go on around, we're going to go down to the other end and show you where the actual inlet was at. The inlet that Pedro Menendez would have come in on in 1565 is the inlet that we're showing you now. It did end up into what we call that channel of water. Now they call it Salt Run. But it was the actual inlet coming into St. Augustine. But it was a shallow water inlet. It never was very deep. and it kept getting the mouth of it, which went into the Atlantic down at back dead end here of Salt Run. It kept filling in, getting too shallow. So I guess the big sailing boats, they would have to anchor outside there in the ocean, and then they would have to row the smaller boats in to come into St. Augustine. So that's why it got so bad that in 1940 the Army Corps of Engineers cut the new inlet. I think the reason that St. Augustine hadn't really grown like Jacksonville or Savannah or Charleston, those areas, because we never had a deep water port. Never had where the big ships could come in and unload. So it just never did really grow, which was fine with me. Anyway, I guess I've really covered enough on this subject, but just wanted to do something a little bit different than got some really good beach scenes. My grandson has helped me with this. He's really good at doing this stuff. My buddy Phil, he had a issue in his family up north, so he's gone. He's gone to New York. He won't be back till next Thursday. So anyway, so he's not involved in this one. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, you can contact it on. You'll see this on YouTube, or you can give me a call, 904-217-7974, or our various have a website and various information on the YouTube channels that you can enjoy hearing from you. And for goodness sakes, do take care of yourself. And until the next time, I'll see you then.